My name's Eva, and I got into an abusive relationship with my tutor, Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen started out just being my friend. But over the weeks, Mr. Allen started touching me and making me touch him. It got to the point that I didn't want to go to tutoring or see Mr. Allen anymore. But I couldn't tell anybody why. I'd have to say that I let Mr. Allen touch me and that we had sex. I was scared, and I thought it was all my fault.
People like Eva can feel like they're trapped by abuse. Their worries make them ignore the feeling inside that tells them to get help. But our feelings help keep us safe. They tell us when something will hurt us or make us sick. They also tell us when touches or situations are unsafe. Eva's story is about learning to trust your feelings to stay safe from abuse.
Tutoring was in the afternoon, after everyone else had gone home. I was the only kid in the class. I guess no one else was bad at math. Mr. Allen was a fun tutor. He loved to talk about my favorite TV shows. He would sit next to me and go over my problems with me, and if I couldn't think of an answer, he would rub my shoulders. It kind of made me feel weird, but I thought he was being nice, so I didn't think about it much. Sometimes Mr. Allen would give me a hug when I came in the door. Even though he touched me a lot, I liked coming to tutoring because he was really nice to me. But when he wanted me to touch him, I thought I had to be nice back. I didn't know what else to do. When we started taking off clothes, I didn't know how to say no. A few times we had sex, and I didn't know how to stop it. It made me feel scared and gross. But I thought Mr. Allen was in love with me. I thought that's what people did when they're in love. I felt like the mouse, trapped in his cage. After a while, thinking about tutoring made me feel sick. I wanted it to stop, but I didn't want to get Mr. Allen into trouble. I couldn't imagine telling anyone anyway. How could I tell my dad I let Mr. Allen touch me for so long? I felt like it was my fault. Some nights, I stared at my math book till my eyes hurt, trying to learn enough so I wouldn't have to go back to tutoring. I couldn't think of any other way out. Then one day, Mr. Allen was outside talking in the hall. I felt something by my foot. It was the mouse. He escaped. Somehow, right then I knew that I could escape too. I left immediately and went straight home and told my dad everything. He knew what to do, and I felt better, but I cried a lot that night. I think mostly because I was relieved to finally tell. I never saw Mr. Allen again. Telling was hard, but I know now that if something feels weird or wrong, it is. You just have to tell someone about it.
I'm so glad Eva was able to trust her feelings and talk about her abuse. It was confusing because Eva liked Mr. Allen, but his touches made her feel weird and gross. Sometimes the smallest feeling is the one that tells us that something's wrong. But if something feels wrong, it is. Eva thought the abuse was her fault because she didn't stop it sooner. But it's never anyone's fault but the abuser's. And it's never too late to tell someone that something bad is happening to you. If telling your parents isn't an option, you can tell a teacher or a school counselor. Keep telling until someone listens and helps make it stop.